Did you miss my pattern picks of the month? Well, they're back. Hi, my name is Sarah, and welcome to my channel, which is all about sewing and styling a handmade wardrobe. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my pattern picks from the past few months. I haven't done one of these episodes in a while, but usually in the wintertime, there's not a whole lot of new releases, but I do have a few things that I would like to share. And then I thought I would broaden the scope of this video to include some of my favorites of the month. These can be fashion related or beauty related or just life related. I just thought I wanted to share with you some of the things that I'm really loving this month. So if you're interested in seeing that, please stay tuned. The first pattern that I would like to share that I really liked is from Sew Love Patterns, and it's called the Chloe dress. The cost is 11 British pounds, and it comes in sizes A to H, which is equivalent to a UK size 6 to 20. I've never sewn a pattern from this shop before, but I really like some of her designs, and I absolutely love this dress. I think that it is beautiful. I like both the mini and the midi version. I absolutely love the slit. I even like the little ties on the shoulders, although I probably wouldn't make that version myself because tie straps I find kind of annoying. But I truly think that this is a beautiful dress, and the only reason why I am not buying it myself is because I don't have an occasion to wear it to. If I had something like a wedding coming up in the summer, I absolutely would buy this dress. I just think that it is a gorgeous design. The next pattern is another dress, but this one is a knit dress. It's the Tammy Handmade Ravina dress. It costs £7.99 British pounds, and it comes in sizes 6 to 32. So this is actually a little bit similar in style to the first dress. It has a square neckline. Like I said, it's made in a knit. It also has a slit down the front. And I believe it calls for a little bit more of a stable knit, so like a ponte fabric, not something that's really super stretchy. I've never sewn a pattern from Tammy Handmade before, and just being perfectly honest, I've never really been interested in any of her patterns before this because I just feel like a lot of her designs I've seen other places, but this one I think is a nice silhouette and it's a little bit different and fresh, and it's perfect for spring and summer. I'd probably be more likely to get this one than the first one because it's in a knit, it's a little bit more casual just in my mind. But because this is a sleeveless dress, it's definitely not something I'm thinking about at the moment. I would wait until the summer to pick it up. During my hiatus, the Big Five started bringing out their spring collections, so there were quite a few new patterns that we have seen from the big pattern companies, but there wasn't a whole lot that I was interested in, although I am very narrowly focused these days. So maybe that's why things didn't really speak to me as much. It's not so much about the patterns themselves, but just that I'm trying to be so much more choosy. But I did have a few patterns that I wanted to share. The first one is a vintage reissue. It's McCall's 8358, and it's a Laura Ashley 1970s reprint for a dress. And I'm so happy that they used a modern sample and showed it on a model and not just the illustration from the original dress from the 70s. It just makes it so much easier to visualize myself wearing it today and not feel like it's a costume. This is for a reversible wrap dress. You can wear it with the wrap in the front or in the back. And it has tiered gathers, which admittedly I'm still a little bit sick of, but I do think that this is a really pretty dress. It seems like it would be a beautiful one for summer, and you could make it more casual, I think, than some of the other dresses that I've shown, but you could also make it dressier just depending on the fabric that you use. I probably will not pick up this pattern just because I have so many dress patterns, but I do think that it is a lovely dress. The cost on the website is $22.99 US, and it comes in sizes 6 to 24. The second dress that I really liked is from the Nomi line. It's 2020. It's for a cargo style A-line wrap dress. The price for this one is $15.95 USD on the website, and it comes in sizes 10 to 38W. Now, right off the bat, I'm not going to be buying this dress for myself because unfortunately it doesn't come in my size, but I really like the design of it. Now, not so much the styling on the envelope with the color blocking and the crazy prints. That's just not my personal style. But looking at the envelope drawings, I can definitely see this made in something a little bit more muted, something like a safari style sort of beige or maybe like an olive green, and I think that that would really be up my alley. I love that it's kind of a combo of a shirt dress and a wrap dress. I really like the sleeveless version the most, and I love the pocket detailing. I'm just really sad that it doesn't come in my size. And the last pattern I have to share with you is Simplicity 9729. It's a lingerie pattern by Madeline. It's $16.77 US on the website, and it comes in sizes extra small up to 5X. Now, this is the only pattern from these that I've shared today that I will probably buy in the next Simplicity sale. I've been wanting to make a couple of things for myself for a while. One is I desperately need to make a new slip. The one that I have is really, really old and it's not very comfortable and it kind of static clings to you, which sort of defeats the point of a slip. So I need to make myself a new one. But also, I really want to make myself a pretty nightgown. I've never owned anything like that before, and I'm an adult. It's okay if I want to wear a pretty, sexy nightgown, and I'd really like to make one for myself. So I do think that I will be picking up this pattern, and I think that it's a really nice design. You can have two different lengths. There's a shorter length, which is the one I'm more interested in for both the slip and the nightgown. And then there's also a longer length version that you could probably just make into a slip dress if you wanted. And then there's also a half slip, which I do also need a half slip, so I might make that version. But the thing that I don't like about that particular pattern is it has really thick elastic at the waist, which just seems a little bit weird for a slip. But maybe it could be modified in some way to use lingerie elastic. I don't really know. I'd have to look at the pattern. But that is one that I'm definitely putting on my list because I think that it is a practical thing, and also it's something that I just really want to sew for myself. Moving on to some of my other favorites of the month. So I've been thinking a lot lately about trying to level up my accessories, and I really want to start making some purchases for accessories that are a little bit nicer quality, that are going to last a longer amount of time than just buying something from Target. I want to add accessories to my closet that are going to be there for a really long time that I can go to again and again and kind of develop my own signature style. So I made a purchase recently. I actually purchased it secondhand, so I got it at a good price for an Isabel Marant wrap belt. So this belt is made of leather, there's no hardware on it. It's a beautiful brown shade that goes with a lot of my wardrobe. And the thing that I really like about this belt is that you can wear it high up on the waist or you can wear it through your belt loops lower on your pants. And because there's no buckle closure, it's completely adjustable. So I really have a hard time trying to buy a belt because I either have to buy it for my waist or I have to buy it for my hips. It usually doesn't fit both. And I really like this belt so much that I'm going to continue to wear it over the coming months and then make up my mind if I want to go back and buy the black one as well, because I think I might get a lot of use out of that one. I love how the knot detail provides sort of a statement look without using a buckle. And because there's no hardware, I don't have to worry about trying to match silver or gold to my outfit. It's just a really simple, almost understated kind of look, but it's sort of a statement look also, which is a little bit weird, but I really like it. The second favorite that I have to share with you is a set of lip balms that I've purchased from Amazon. So I'm not a makeup person. I don't wear a ton of makeup. I usually wear tinted sunscreen, and if I'm taking pictures or filming, I'll put on some mascara and some lip balm. But otherwise, I really don't wear any makeup. Historically, through my whole life, I've been allergic to a lot of skincare products, and so I haven't been able to wear things like lipsticks or other forms of makeup. So I was really happy to find these lip balms that have a little bit of color to them, but they don't break me out. And I can just throw them on if I'm taking pictures or filming, or if I'm going to the office and just feel like I'm a little bit more put together, that I'm trying even just a minimal amount. So I got 4 different colors. I think those are all the shades that I'm interested in, but it comes in a lot of different colors, maybe like 20. And the thing that I like about these lip balms is that they're fairly sheer, but they're buildable, so you can add more color the more that you apply it. The only negative is that because it is a lip balm, it just has a flat top. It doesn't have that angled top for like a regular lipstick, so it's a little bit harder to apply, but really not a big deal. I have 4 different colors. I have a bright red, I have a bright pink, I have sort of a brownish, darker red, and then I have a nude color that is almost the exact same shade as my lips. So I'm just finding it really handy that I can throw on the lip balm and go to work and feel like I'm trying a little bit harder than I had before, but also being really minimal and not having to do a whole routine. I will leave a link for the things that I am talking about down in the description box in case you are interested in checking them out. Another favorite that I want to share with you, it's kind of funny that I'm calling it a favorite, but really it is. So I bought myself a handheld steamer over the Christmas break, and it's part of my leveling up strategy with my appearance. I don't really want to go to work in rumpled clothes anymore, but I hate to iron. And I did have a steamer, but it was like a travel steamer that was really, really small, and to be honest, it doesn't work all that well. So I got a bigger one. It's basically the same sort of style as my travel steamer, but a larger version. I didn't want to invest in getting one of the professional floor models because that just takes up so much space and it's heavy, and I don't think that I want to deal with that. So this one is just more of a happy medium where it's definitely a lot hotter, a lot more steam comes out, it works better, but you can still hold it in your hand and it doesn't take up a huge amount of space. It's not a perfect solution. It's still not a substitute for actually ironing your clothes, but I just know I'm never going to do that. So this is my way of trying to be a little bit more presentable, not go to work in rumpled clothes, but without having to bust out the iron, because I swear to you, every time I try to iron my clothing, I burn myself. I don't know why. I can sew my clothes and press them as I go and not have any problems, but the minute I go to iron my clothing, I end up burning myself. I don't know, it's just this weird thing. The instructions on the steamer that I purchased specifically say to use tap water, so I don't have to buy any different water to put in it, which is nice. And the only quirk is I have to remember to steam my clothes the night before because it does get them quite damp, so it's not something that I'm going to do right before I go to work. But I've been using it for about a month now, and I think that it works pretty well. I definitely have used it on my crisp white cotton shirt, and there was a huge improvement after I used it versus from before. So I do think that it works really well, and I would recommend it if you too are trying to be a little bit more wrinkle-free in your life. So I got a request from someone to share my project journal. I've been using this setup for over a year now, and it's working pretty well for me with a few tweaks. So I thought I would just quickly go over it for you guys in case you were interested. I use a B6 size. It's my favorite size to use for planners and notebooks because I find that I have enough space to write everything I need to write, but it's not so large and cumbersome that I can carry it around with me if I need to, although this stays at home most of the time. So this notebook is a Foxy Fix leather notebook. I have an embarrassing amount of B6 Travelers notebooks. I don't think Foxy Fix is in business anymore, but we'll just open it up and get started. I did not do a lot of decoration for this setup because it just needs to be functional. I don't really care. So this was just a bookmark that I made for myself and laminated out of some paper from Michaels. So this is an insert that I purchased from Annie's Plans Printables, and I printed it out myself. It's just a monthly calendar. I'll flip to a blank page. So what I use this for is I will put preliminary sewing plans in the sidebar here, and then anything that I start or finish over the month, I will write down the day that I did that so I can keep track of what I do in a month. This second insert is an Erin Condren perpetual calendar. As far as I know, you can't buy this separately. It comes with their life planners, but I used to buy their life planners every year, so I have quite a few of them in my paper stash. So this one, I just use it for at a glance projects that I finish. So I write down the day that I finish a project so that I can quickly know what I have finished in a month. And this is everything that I have finished so far in January. So I will just do that for the whole year. So this next insert I use for social media planning. This is a printable insert that I got from Craftylicious Loves. I used to be part of her subscription for a short amount of time, and she has all these printable inserts. I don't think she sells these separately, but I will link to the subscription club in case that's something you're interested in. She also does printable stickers. But anyway, so this particular insert, I use it for social media planning. So over here, I'll just write down all of the things that I need to photograph or film. And then over here, I'll just schedule out, when I'm going to be posting things, because if I don't write it down, it's really hard to keep track of it all. So that's what I use this insert for. And I just have one page per week for the whole year. This next insert is a simple dot grid notebook that I got from Simply Gilded. I used to be part of their subscription club, and they basically give you one of these every month. It's just a series of blank paper with dot grid, and I use this for sort of simple scratch down notes if I need to take notes for if I'm doing a video or just something that I want to remember, or just if I have certain ideas for reels or videos or something, I will put that in here. And then finally, this is my actual project notebook. This is what I will keep at the end of the year. I use a B6 Stalogy. I really love the B6 Stalogies. I bought several of them and used them very successfully. Last year, I didn't quite fill up an entire notebook, but I was kind of combining all of these things into the one notebook, and this year I've separated them out. So I'm hopeful that I might be able to use this notebook for maybe a couple of years before it's filled up. So we'll just see how that goes. So on this page, I just put my body measurements, and then I printed out my 2 make 9s for my sewing and then for my knitting. And I'm just going to keep track of that when I finish things. But the main thing that I use this notebook for is I just put a little bit of washi tape to delineate the start of a new month so that I can quickly flip through and find the month. What I actually do is I will often use these two in tandem. Like I'll look up here if I want to look back of like, oh yeah, when did I finish this project? I need to look at my notes. Be like, I finished it on the 24th. So I can kind of quickly scan through this notebook and find it because I have the months delineated with this washi tape. So back to the projects, I have terrible handwriting, so like you're just gonna have to live with that. But I have a page per project usually, unless it's a really extensive one that needs multiple pages. And I always just try to write down the basics of what size that I made, what view that I made, what adjustments that I made to the pattern, what fabric I used. And then what I do is every night before I go to bed, I will pull out this notebook and write down anything that happened during the day with that project that I feel like I might need to remember. Like, I broke a needle and I needed to switch to this needle size, or I needed to do this particular stitch length for whatever reason, or I needed this notion, or things like that, so that if I ever need to go back and see what I did, I have the important things down. I really like just using this plain grid notebook on it rather than having something that's all laid out for you, because I always find with those that there's sections that you just don't use. Like, I don't put pictures or swatches or drawings in my project notes. I just use it for notes. So therefore, with a blank page, none of the space is wasted. I can just write down the information that I find useful and ignore the other stuff. I have a fairly organized catalog set up in my phone where I organize my pictures, so that's why I don't really feel the need to print them out and put them in here. It would also just be really time consuming, and I just don't want to do that. And I don't put swatches in here because the notebook would just get way too thick, so I just keep it for notes and notes only. The one final thing I did want to mention is that if I make a pattern and there's something that I want to change in the pattern for next time, I will actually write it down here, but I will also write it on a sticky note and put that sticky note in the pattern with the pattern pieces so that it's there the next time I pull it out. I can see like, oh yeah, I was supposed to adjust the sleeve and make it an inch shorter or whatever. And then I don't necessarily need to go back to my journal and look it up, but I can do that if I want to. So that's just a little quick overview of how I keep my projects organized and how I remember things for videos and just for my own information. If you have any questions about my project journal setup that I didn't go over, please feel free to leave a comment and I am happy to answer you. If you enjoy seeing what patterns I recommend, watch this video next.